Well, last time we had a little bit of a disappointing discovery in the Venusaur deck. Some interesting things, a first edition energy, always a plus. A few other first editions and things from Neo Genesis and a little bit of vintage. I think the biggest thing in there was a old Scyther, but I went ahead and pulled out everything that looked like it wasn't just a common trainer card or an energy and popped them into sleeves. So that's that. Also had a couple of especially dirty cards in there, so I'll try my hand at card cleaning for fun. And we'll move on to this one here, which is going to be the opposites. As disappointing as the Poison Ivy deck was, this is not going to be disappointing. So I went ahead and brought out the Pokemon 2000 movie soundtrack. I got Slowking, the Chief Priest of Lugia, as well as two legendary birds here to join us. And I really like this old CD from it because it had that theme song, right, where the whole like disturb, not the harmony, fire, ice, or lightning, lest these titans wreak destruction upon the world, and then which they clash, and then it goes on, and it's like and the whole world turns to ash. That was the prophecy, and everybody's freaking out in the movie. They're like, oh man, if Lugia can't save us, what? The whole world's gonna turn to ash. Whoa, the whole world turns to ash. And then at one point they get that big brain move where they're like, oh, right, our protagonist, his name is Ash. Hey, the world will turn to Ash to save us. And it's like, whoa, mind blowing. And, you know, if you're a really bright kid, you'd see that 5 minutes into the movie when you first hear the theme song. So so that's a fun thing about this. But without further ado, let's check out the man, the myth, the legend. Not really a man, I think, but it is voiced by a man in the movie. So in my Lugia binder, of course, I've got some Lugias. We have this little rule book that told us some of the new rules about baby Pokemon and whatnot. I forget what this came with. Um, but I remember when we thought this was called Pika Blue. That was fun. And here's my swirly Lugia there. I remember when it was like Christmas or something. It must have been, what's the date on these things? 2000? I mean, yeah, about then. And I opened up three Japanese packs and it had three Lugia. And there was a time when someone at my local Pokemon League was almost like an older kid, almost convinced me to trade one of these for a Mew promo card, the number 9, because I thought that it was like super rare. I thought it was basically as rare as the Illustrator Pikachu. But luckily, the gym leader at the time intervened, and so I didn't lose one of my nice Lugias. It's a real fun, shiny card. It's one of my favorites. And a couple of Umbreons popping up here. Again, this is the book where I kept my Japanese cards, and I got to be careful because 20 years ago, plus years ago, I didn't really carefully put these in to the binder, so I might have to just cut the binder sleeves. I hate to do that, but also I would hate more to rough up some of these cards, pulling them out of this binder. See, it folds like that, which makes me a little nervous. And I threw in some Cyndaquil because I thought it was nice. Cyndaquil was the one I picked when I first played Silver. Forget which one I chose in Crystal, but I'm pretty sure it was Chikorita in at least one of my playthroughs. A couple more of these fairy themed guys. See, we got the Cleffa peeking in on the farmhouse. And somewhere I have a. Ooh, is that a swirl? Yeah, a little swirl behind Clefable. Somewhere I have a deck that features Clefable, and that's going to be interesting to find because I'm pretty sure I did not sleeve it, and that's a bit tragic. Ooh, I thought this was going to be a blank page, but here we have a Pichu. I don't know what it was about Pichu. Maybe it's the color pattern. I think it must be the color pattern that makes it feel extra sparkly in the back there, because the Eevee promo gives me the same feeling. See, I don't like this, where the page folds over on Pichu, so I'm just going to lightly let it gently hang. I always forget about Smoochum. I think about the other baby Pokemon, and Smoochum is not often on the list. The Sprout Tower was one of my favorite cards because it felt like a real world thing that could exist, and it was in the game. And so when there's an overlap between real world and the game, it's really fun. And then when there's a card of it, it's even more fun. And I got some of these box toppers. I forget where those came from. And is this our last page with the, yeah, with the electric? Oh no, wait, there's something else back here. I'm pretty sure it's just some random stuff. Yeah. Fossil egg, fossil, and one of my favorite artists for the Pokemon. It's written in Japanese here. Oh, no, it's not. Kagamaru Himeno. I'm mispronouncing that, but that is one of my favorite artists. Don't get me wrong that I had to reread it to remember how to pronounce the name. And there you go. That's the Lugia binder. One last look at our big fella there. And oh shucks, we'll go for the other Neo chase card of Umbreon too. Why not? And so next time, the next video, I'm gonna crack this thing open, and it is just a plastic bag of things, and I'm not sure what all's in it. There's this Burger King thing. I see some Beanie Baby paraphernalia, something about Mew from the first movie, I believe. So we'll see what's in here next time. Oh, and one other big thing I'll do on this video, because this was a kind of special one where I opened up possibly my favorite binder. What I was gonna do was I was gonna add some cards to this that are two of my favorite Pokemon. I've got two cards of two of my favorites and one more coming in the mail later, but I was gonna add them to this binder. Let me see how easily these pages are to get in and out. So I have here one of my favorites that I'm using this box just as storage for the moment, but I went ahead and pulled it out. I used my gloved hand for this one and put that aside. It's the beautiful Dragonair from 151. This is one of my most favorite cards coming back into collecting, and this is a special video because this is the first time that I'm adding something into my personal collection since coming into the modern era. Yeah, these are not easy to get in and out, so I will just sleeve our good old Dragonair and add that to my list of what goes into the personal collection of mine. And my other card that is one of my favorite Pokemon, possibly my favorite Pokemon, I'm not sure. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a pause to guess. And I think I have a figure of this one nonetheless. It is Raticate. I found this art card in a local game shop and I had to scoop it up. So here I am now rebuilding my personal collection. These two cards are going to be the first ones that are definitively going into the personal collection and not at all going onto the market. As for all the other cards in the collection, I'm not entirely sure what exactly I'm going to do with them. At this point, I'm kind of just tracking them up for inventory. So thanks for watching, and we'll check back in the next one.